Mighty. It's like my favorite. It's my favorite like single book because I mean they made a sequel to it, but the sequel was terrible. He just started the recording.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here trying to schooly these motherfuckers.
Meanwhile, Joe Rogan's trying not to get fucking caught again.
Feel free to wax poetically.
Fucking.
Because he kept sticking it into somebody's ass?
No. He got caught staring at some girl's ass, so then he's just like,
I remember that.
and then he's just like,
meet your butthole.
he's just trying to take that magic ghost that's been haunting the arena.
It's been haunting the girl's butthole. Yeah, we did start it.
Already did.
But yeah, I mean my favorite series is Animorphs. But Freak the Mighty was a really awesome book. Because it had to do with somebody I think really could relate to. A man who doesn't really like know his father or like his father, but he's also a colossal guy.
What are you talking?
Freak the Mighty.
Oh, that's what you're talking
I don't remember the character's name, but they used to... Did they call it? No, he was the mighty part of that.
Is it like Simon? I watched Gurren Lagann and didn't know who Simon was.
Yes. I don't know who Simon is. It's Simone! No! There's no accent mark over the O. It's not Simone, it's Simon. But yeah, so Freak the Mighty is about this gigantic, like, teenager. And he's just like big and kind of stupid, and he meets this little tiny dude who's like really smart and has like leg braces. He walks around calling himself a robot. So the big guy likes to carry. Yes, he does the robot too.
Yes.
So he would pick him up and put him on his shoulders, and they would like joke around about how like together they make one fully functioning person. And then one day, one of the high school bullies came up and tried to like fuck with them or something. So he like put the kid on his shoulders and like took off, but the guy kept chasing them. No, it might have actually just been a criminal. And then the big dude just like threw a fucking punch and knocked him out. So this.
Is it a book series?
Yeah, it was a book. They made a sequel to it because the spoilers for those of you that like reading books, I guess. The fucking kid dies because he's got a disease, which is why he's short and has the leg braces. But he was under the impression that they were going to take his brain out of his defunct body and put it in a robot body. And the big guy was too stupid to realize that wasn't going to fucking happen. So it's like I think the book takes place within like the span of a summer or winter or something. And then the little kid dies. But the bigger guy feels better about himself because the little guy was like, you're not as stupid as people tell you you are.
It's
and then they have
nice.
then they had another one where he joins forces with a girl, but I never read that book, so I don't know what happened in it. I mean, most of the stuff I remember now is probably not even accurate to an extent, so...
The only novel I ever finished, because I've read like textbooks from end to end before.
Was it your bibliography?
No.
I would go back in time because I would know that I wouldn't have...
I didn't read that when I wrote it. There's a difference.
What you not do? Proofread it?
No, yeah, dude, have you seen my writing? I proofread. Yeah, I proofread nothing.
I proofread
nothing. Anyways, the only novel I ever finished was Slaughterhouse 5, and I was extremely disappointed.
I don't know what that is.
It's okay.
Is that
So
Kurt Vonnegut?
yes. So my English teacher stated as like a sci-fi horror thing. It's neither.
Isn't that World War II?
Yes.
Yeah, he wrote it. He ended
pretty,
up in a concentration camp.
it's pretty much him. I feel like it would have been better if he just talked about his like experiences there. That's it. He
Kinda did.
Is it sad that I wanted to laugh after Roy said concentration camp?
No.
I don't know why.
And he sticks in these like sci-fi elements that supposedly the book made like sci-fi popular, right? So I'm like, all right, good, whatever, I don't care. It's basically that hipsters like I did it first, so it just annoys the hell out of me.
What is it?
So he needs these aliens that are just hands with an eyeball in the middle of it, and apparently they can see through all time. So their perception onwards, basically, but they do nothing, which I guess time knows.
Yeah, so much.
So he, at one point, he meets them because he's like the only human that can see through this time or like shift through time or whatever. Because he jumps through time constantly, but he doesn't realize it until he meets the aliens. And the aliens tell him that you can't change anything in the past. You just have to relive it or re-experience it
And undo the future that is Aku.
Yeah. No, and no, that's what he's telling me. What about free will and all this other shit? And they're like, free will is only a human concept. We like exist above shit like that, right? And then he just accepts it. I'm like,
Pretty sure you're
what happened to? No, this is like.
I don't think they said shit. I don't think the higher beings said shit out of their imaginary mouths that don't exist because they're above that shit.
Whatever higher being shit word is for shit. All right. So
They just added
tell
to it.
Yeah. They
actually French the whole time. I knew
it.
they take him just to study humans for some reason.
Turks.
Which is stupid because he's the only human that they study.
Going on.
And then at one point supposedly he had sex with some popular movie star, which is not true. And then he meets himself.
And has sex with himself?
No.
Who the fuck is texting me?
He meets himself. He also meets the author of the book that inspired him. In the same fucking book, and it annoys the hell out of him. He could have just go off on his experiences, like, I went through this shit.
I mean, it's not any worse than the second book in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory series.
No.
Did you know that there's 2 other books besides Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
I didn't know there was a book. I only knew the movie.
No, the movie really did the first book.
This is why I like the movie.
Second
Just
book,
cut it off at the good part. That's
second
it.
book, they go into space and see space aliens. And then they have to help the president take down the aliens. This is serious.
It's real life
Look it up on Wikipedia.
It's real life.
Stupid as shit. And in the third book, it's Charlie and his grandfather and his fucking...
The fighting Nazis?
No, his grandfather?
Oh, Charlie, I thought it was the Wong.
No. They all get invited to the White House to have dinner.
I thought I had
the
a bad
president.
No, yeah, but
And this is why Charlie and the stop.
He had bad brain.
Like,
Wait, what?
in the third book, they just have, like, dinner, I think is what happens. That's the whole plot, is they're having dinner with the president.
Only 3 different people wrote those books.
No, it's by the same guy. The title of the book.
Martin wrote the third one, that's why it's just them having dinner.
First book, second book, aliens. Third book, dinner.
Yeah, R.R. Martin wrote the third one.
Step 4, profit.
Yeah.
A lot of shit goes into dinner. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we should make this the bookcast.
Podcast? That's so tired, today's podcast.
No, I would never finish it because I'm so disappointed in the
On
goddamn.
today's bookcast, Oprah Winfrey recommends you suck your own fucking dick. That's how she got thin, because she's the world's sexiest man.
I was so disappointed in this book. It never told me anything about my dick or how to suck it.
Well, fucking How to Kill a Mockingbird never tells you how to kill a mockingbird.
Again, that's another
Completely
movie over the book. It was just so disappointing.
Okay, here we go. So it starts off, Charlie the Chocolate Factory, okay?
And he's reading this, you can read along on
It's followed by Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, which is the alien one, I do believe.
Or
Let's see.
take us over to fight aliens or something?
into space.
So it picks up immediately after where the previous book left off. Charlie and his whole family flying abroad the Great Glass Elevator en route to the Chocolate Factory, which Mr. Wonka intends to get shut up.
Coming! Jesus!
The height to which the elevator ascends frightens Charlie's family, sending them in the wrong direction. As a result, the elevator goes into orbit, where Wonka docks with a space hotel. In the White House, President Lancelot R. Gilligrass, Vice President Elvira Tibbs, the President's best friend, Chief, and the U.S. Senate cabinet, or the U.S. cabinet, see the elevator dock with the space hotel and fear it contains hostile agents of foreign and extraterrestrial government.
Wait. Back up a second. You said Elvira? Is that like Elvira?
I don't think it's actually like that Elvira, but that's what I imagined when I said it.
Yeah, no, that's what I imagined.
It's just
It's like I saw
Vice President Hooters.
I saw like an old white guy, right? And then all of a sudden tits.
Oh yeah, Gilligrass just, he wanted the spooky factor and he wanted the sexy factor. He's like, Elvira, you're like 80 years old, but you still look like you're like 40.
She's so
it's all
hot.
good.
It's amazing.
No. Imagine a white politician, but as the scene goes on, he's slowly like every time he goes to another scene and you go back to him, he's slowly turning into the actual Elvira.
I thought you were gonna say he melted into her.
Here it goes.
That too.
In the midst of like all this shit
It's still
happening,
the second one?
this is
No,
the
it's
second
her.
book.
Oh, that was just...
Okay, like I said,
5 gigantic amoeba-like monsters which change shape, each forming a letter of the word scram. recognizing.
Wait, is that all they can do, or is that how they attack people?
That's strategy.
Like they throw on a fucking leather jacket. It's actually just the tunnel snakes.
No, they're amoeba snakes now.
No, they're called scramebas. That's
Thousand snakes for life.
It's just on the back of their fucking vests. Scramebas.
So the extraterrestrials are called the Vermiceus Nids.
Nibs.
Like they actually have names. And they fucking, I think they make them burn up in the atmosphere.
Yeah, well, in the first.
Do you know that they really Wonka making people burn? Willy Wonka?
Okay. So
No, he names a bunch of like weird species that like his world travels and shit. I didn't know he literally traveled different
So the
worlds.
third book is actually unfinished. It was a follow-up to the book was planned called Charlie and the White House. Charlie's family and Willy Wonka are invited to President Gilligrass to have dinner at the White House, and thanks for rescuing the space shuttle from its attacks from the Nids. Dahl only wrote the first chapter, which is on display at the Ronald Dahl Museum and Story Center in Great Missenden, something like that. So, if your childhood if you didn't know that your fucking childhood favorite chocolate fucking crazy guy had a fucking space book, well, he does.
Believe it. This is real life, Jeff.
And it's gonna be, I know who's gonna direct the movie too, I'm gonna leak it right now.
Michael Bay.
No.
J.J. Abrams.
No. It's going to be,
Sean Connery.
no, M. Night Shyamalan.
I knew it.
For his acclaimed work in such things as Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Oh,
The best of his, whatever he's made. It's better than The Sixth Sense, obviously.
Better than whatever he made, because we're not calling them movies.
Yeah.
We're like 2017.
Pretty much.
That's a quote.
I think he wants up in the works to make the
excess
couple of
of money,
Destiny,
man.
and hopefully that'll be a lot better. But I think he lost funding in mid-production. He just call it quits.
The guy who made Crimson Peak should follow up on what he wanted to do and make that fucking.
What happened is he lost track of what he was trying to do. Was trying to showcase
Well,
Last
after-
Airbender. He tried to stick so much to like the culture and the realness that he forgot what he was doing. Pretty much that's
So did the old lady who actually thought she was actually the old lady that they're
That wasn't a
actually.
problem at all. I mean, like, you can't cram a whole entire season into like an hour.
He didn't have to do that. He could have just like picked a segment and like, look, this is a world that is like all on its own. Jump into it. You don't need to explain it or
And
have
then
like
stop the
this whole
yard.
It pisses me off
And
so
then
much.
he
They
just comes up with the
so much with it.
mysteries.
Yeah.
Magical Mystery Tour, yeah. No, but what Kenshin said reminded me of like the Paperboy thing. It's like Paperboy calls it quits.
Yeah.
But then it's just
M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan 8-bit style just on the thing, and he's just like,
M. Night Shyamalan calls it quits. Is he
Yeah.
dead?
wait, what? Oh, it's like this? No, because the Paperboy is like that too. It's just like
Like, I remember in production the first movie though, he worked with the actual creators of Avatar.
Yeah.
To try and do the story, but what they could have done, they went through the actual route as what they did with what the movie industry did with Scott Pilgrim, where it's like this book, only it takes a turn on the original, like their own original take on the book itself. Or
Except for the book
Did-
was better.
I told you about that. How I found out about the chip thing. It was in like commentary.
one of the notes that he made for Ramona, but
Yeah.
he put it in the final.
That's what I love. Is people taking it and like going in a new direction. It's like
Like the information,
or just like representing it correctly.
the shoelace she always wears and everywhere she goes, that's from her late little brother.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's cool. See, I'm still learning shit about this shit.
And also on Miranda, that's the girl that always cusses out on Scott.
Yeah.
Apparently he's the reason why he's mad at Scott because during college though, she had a big crush on him.
Oh yeah, no, that was in the comics, I believe.
But you know what else wasn't in the movie? Where the bionic arm girl, who's the drummer of Head, and Todd, the vegan psychic, went into the restroom and did some bus stuff. Because the drummer was like, "Hey Todd, let me eat your butthole."
God damn!
Let me eat that vegan
Worse
butthole.
than the game groups would run jokes into the ground for like several podcasts.
To be fair, that one actually fits in that world.
Hey, young girl. No, you're not. No.
This is Roy doing it.
Yeah.
Roy looks like Aaron.
Yeah.
Why the fuck do everyone say I look like Ego Rap?
You do.
Well, you look like fucking what is his name? The guy from Team 4-Star.
Team 4-Star?
Team 4-Star.
Oh, Lenny Couture.
Yeah, he was like a fat Lenny Couture, or was it a
That.
Oh, then the skinny Lenny Couture. What the fuck ever?
Vegeta,
We should-
quit fucking me in the butthole.
Vegeta, let me eat your butthole.
I don't know why we became ghouls at that point, but whatever.
Smooth skin, let me eat your
Potential
butthole.
boyfriend.
Coming back, we're doing a podcast.
I don't know what the phones into that podcast. We're the most unprofessional shit ever.
Like, you didn't even give a chance to respond. He's like, call me back, I'm doing this shit. See ya.
Call me back, I'll have a butthole.
Take the damn call. Damn it.
But what if it's important?
What if your brother called me like it was the power supply all along, Jared?
It's real life, Jared. He just teabagged you.
You gonna fucking hump our chair? What the fuck?
Yeah, that's my response. Because I didn't answer the phone.
First you hump the TV, now hump the chair. No, now you got chair babies.
What books have you read that normal people have read? Because I know you read like a lot of like Edgar Allan Poe and
H.P. Lovecraft.
H.P. Lovecraft.
Lovecraft
Which are
is
good
a good
books.
read-writer.
But if you're not, if you can't comprehend what you're reading, it's going to be very difficult for you to read. Much like your girlfriend's sister's book that was speaking in like fucking Ebonics or something.
Yeah, that was fucking weird.
I don't
Yeah.
comprehend anything I read.
You don't comprehend anything you read.
Oh yeah, that's correct. I don't.
Jared once said he does not comprehend.
He doesn't comprehend because he always gets distracted.
Yes. But
I don't proofread.
So you know about the Mockingbird I've read.
Perfeed.
I don't
I've read To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah,
Not
so hard.
I read the first chapters of Catcher in the Rye.
I love, that might actually be the only other book that I can think of that would be my favorite book. Is Catcher in the Rye and Freak the Mighty.
With my hunting hat.
Banana Fish, the story of Banana Fish was pretty good because it was about a pedophile.
What?
Yeah.
I read
Oh my god.
Shakespeare.
The fucking, okay, back when I was in high school, after I read To Catch a Mockingbird, the Catcher in the Rye, I was like, Salinger's books are really cool to me. I'm gonna go read some other ones. So the library had quite a few of them, and one of them was a collection of short stories, and one of them was called A Perfect Day for Banana Fish. And it's about this guy who's on vacation with his family, and he's clearly mentally unstable, and they describe him as like a really weird guy, and he's just kind of hanging out in the pool at this resort, and he's got some kind of like relationship with like a really young girl. I think they said that he was in the war, so the war might have fucked him up. And then I think it ends with him like blowing his own brains out. It was just like a really weird story.
Oh god, was it something I read? No, it wasn't something I read because I don't want to read. I watched something that was just pisses me off because it didn't make any sense.
So basically it was a movie version of me.
What was it?
No, I find you no.
Also something funny but for different reasons.
Yeah. Did you see the live action of Attack on Titan?
No.
It's okay. It's terrible, because all
Sharon's seal of approval. Oh my god, we still have it. Do you have that picture?
Maybe I can find it.
I know I have it somewhere.
Why are you a walrus?
I'm a seal.
I like the seal. You
My apologies. Why are you a seal?
I'm a seal with people.
Wait, have you read Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, or did you just watch
Why
it?
did I ask? I should not.
I was reading Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, but I never got through it. It's like with the Brave New World, I never got through it.
Oh wait, old song.
Like I'm sure, like if I would have read longer, it would have been really interesting. But yeah. I've read a little bit of Oscar Wilde's The Portrait of Dorian Gray. I still need to finish that one too. I have it on my bookshelf.
Yeah, Roy's kind of really weirdly cultured, considering his room is like a disaster zone.
I hate
Well, then he gets to his
Outlast
mind,
because
so-
it doesn't really go anywhere.
What?
I hate Outlast because it doesn't really go anywhere.
Outlast.
Okay, Outlast.
The game?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know it's a horror. Well, it's supposed to be a
It's supposed to be a
horror
horror game,
game,
yeah.
right? So it starts off with this, like in the first one, it starts off with this investigator guy
Through the stairs.
investigating. I forgot
That
what.
fucking
No, it was a farm.
mental institute,
No,
right?
he was investigating a farm, right? He was on a farm. He gets sucked into the well. The well takes him to a high school. The high school takes him to a mental institution, then a prison, then back to the high school, then back to the mental institution, which he has to crawl through to get into an underground government space
No, whether the first one took place.
No, this is all. This is all the
Or
first
am I
one.
thinking of another game here?
Another game. This is all the first one.
What he doesn't know is that it also, when you get through the high school, you also end up walking through a small area of Scott Pilgrim's mind because it's subspace highway.
And you gotta know, and you gotta run away from the janitor because he's chasing after you with a baseball bat.
Is he really?
No, that was White Day.
No, it's close to
This is
both of
good,
those.
buddy.
At one point, you run into this thing they call the wall rider, which is basically a ghost, which is not a ghost. It's just a manifestation of someone's soul that was stuck in a computer.
Stand power!
Fucking pisses, and they kill him by pulling the plug. That's it.
Well, that's how I killed my grandma.
And then they come back to the next one where it sets up everything, but in separate locations at different times. And for some reason, you're also an investigator that's having flashbacks of memories that you don't
And
recall.
I still have to watch the rest of fucking RE7 because I've never played it, but I was watching Arblue play it, and he's fucking hilarious.
Sponsored.
Arblue.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was watching him play it. He was fucking hilarious, but I never was able to watch all of it because it's like 7-hour stream.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if it's still on his fucking stream page thing.
7. Which was it? Oh yeah, that one.
Fucking
Yeah.
That's why I'm all yelling at the cat.
Okay. Another cat. It's not AutoCAD.
Okay.
Go with it. I fucking hate that thing.
No. Okay.
Fucking, I never agreed to have that thing.
It's on there.
Or did you?
No,
Yeah.
no, I didn't.
Or
This is like-
you agreed to the extender box.
No, I did to that because that was hilarious.
He kind of.
I'm gonna go find somebody to help me sue for mentally raping me with AutoCAD.
Okay, it's your own cat's fault.
It's your cat's fault. That wasn't my cat's fault.
He's a cat?
It was.
yeah.
Yeah, it got cured thanks to Jesus foot.
Yeah.
What?
Damn that.
Okay, so when we found my cat, it was in the garage. It had like an infection on its tail. It was just kind of slowly eating away at its tail. So my older brother wanted to keep it because he's a piece of shit, doesn't want to take care of everything, but he wants something. So now he has a cat. He wrapped the tail and injected it with like antibiotics or whatever.
Injected it with poison.
Yeah, no, he gave it like antibiotics.
He was
whatever.
testing it
Took
for
of
them all.
basically. So this is what they recommended. So her tail was wrapped for like the longest time. At one point, he gets out of bed and accidentally steps on it, just snaps off. So it heals over, which is probably a good thing
Wait,
because
tail snaps off?
yeah, the end bit that
The
was
infected part.
yeah,
Oh.
that just snaps off. So now she has a short, stubby tail. I call her Shorty because short,
Is
stubby.
it funny?
No, because he calls it Blanca because Snow White, but in Spanish is Blanca Nieves. So
It's racist.
yes, and just because the cat is white, I'm like that's a terrible. Why is he playing fetch with the cat?
I have no fucking clue. What is happening in here? Come on.
So yeah, he cured my cat with Jesus foot.
Yeah, but yeah.
There's a
As
creep.
Jared would say.
But the is not your cat. This is his cat.
He doesn't take care of it. Like it's got fleas like crazy. He doesn't
So
treat
do
it
you?
fleas.
We don't fucking throw you in the bathtub though.
No, I
He's too big
I
for
don't. I don't bathe her either. I just put like
Yeah, you don't bathe either.
no
Damn.
once a week. Whatever.
You're the most basic of jokes.
Anyways, so I put like flea shit on her and then
Oh, this is where my feet were at.
I clean her ears out because she
Like a
scratches her
little
ear so far that it bleeds. It's ridiculous.
You're a skin
I also
condition.
feed her because he forgets to feed her.
But yeah, well, I've also read like Shakespeare. But H.P. Lovecraft is probably one of my favorite
Kendrick doesn't
writers.
read books though. Kendrick's too cool for school.
Yeah, what books do you read, or what do you like to read?
What have you read?
He likes reading some anime, like manga.
What?
Yeah, that's my point. I like to read anime and watch manga.
Yeah, he's, you know.
Technically, you could if you were reading the subs.
That's true. But I don't know.
Some were always better, except for in the case of Ghost Stories, Desert Punk, and Organized Clothes Club.
Oh, but what about
And Squirrel.
Duel
And
Masters?
Duel Masters.
Yeah.
I'm actually trying to think about the books actually, and I read for a while.
And the 90s
I read like
version,
the
right?
first 5 chapters of The Witch and the Wizard.
Oh yeah.
It was called The Gift, but
Patterson book, right?
yeah, it was called The Gift. But the thing is, though, me and everyone didn't know the Gift was actually the second installment. The
Wait, is that no? That's the other one. The one where they like give something up and then the other person gives them something.
That's Gift of the Magi.
Okay, that's Gift of the Magi. Okay, I was
Also
gonna say
something
gift,
I've
like
read.
the Magby gift or something.
Magby?
No, I think that's Pokemon. And then there's the Thieving Magpie, which is the song by Rossini or some shit like
The
that.
Thieving Magby.
Thieving Magby by Ash Riosini.
Yeah, so I didn't realize that the gift was actually the second installment of the series itself. The first installment was to simply called The Witch and the Wizard. And the story, it's actually a pretty interesting story though, and I recommend you pick it up too. And it's basically it starts in a dystopian society, to where like the ruler of the society now bans all type of like a music or any type of fun in general. And so like
Like Big Brother?
yeah, it starts out with like the witch and the wizard seeing this execution, and apparently this execution
I watch movies.
like the witch's
reference. I never read the book.
the witch's
I don't care.
best friend who happens to be quote unquote the last punk rocker. And like so like and the children of Erlan, they had this underground little celebration tour to where they celebrate a celebratory rock concert. And like everyone's having fun, and all the stuff that's the new regime made illegal. Apparently, they made also cosplay illegal as well.
Kenji just dead in the fucking alleyway.
After the fucking the institute or whatever we were calling ourselves. Remember we were playing fucking oh wait no, that was Jared's body dead in the side of the road because we were playing Monopoly and
We were the syndicate.
no, you
No, we never did that.
Okay. Well, nobody's gonna know what we're talking about.
It doesn't matter.
and then we all
I stand by what I did.
Hey, my friendships were real.
The Men of Honor.
Like the other books I've read though, like mostly the stuff that high school forced me to read, like Mice and Men, The Iliad.
oh yeah.
I never finished those books. Never.
God, you know what else was a really funny book? Oh, fuck, what was it called?
I passed an English test.
Modest Proposal, that's what it was called.
Oh, Modest Proposal.
Modest Proposal, there we go. That was a hilarious
You know what else
book.
we should do? Eat babies. We could put them onto a sandwich,
I was
bread, some fucking
confused about that
potatoes.
entire conversation because I imagined like cow people, like actual cow people.
Oh, for a second I thought somebody was starting your van. It's just a car in front of your van. I don't know what they're doing. I'm gonna get my knife.
The one that I found really interesting though was on A Sound of Thunder.
Oh, that's what happens after I eat beans. You eat cheese.
Park or something.
You remember that story or book? It was actually made into a movie. Basically, it starts in the future to where like
I think there's just double park.
it's where like time travel had been made commercialized. So now
Piece of
people
shit
have
across the
like
streets fucking moving their cars.
time travel hunting parties.
That car in.
So basically, say I
yeah.
So what it is though is that they have the system. So if one guy goes back, let's say like say a T-Rex or something, and if it dies naturally, so he for the story part though, he marked the T-Rex that they'll die naturally by having a tree fall onto it. And so what they did though was right, they had this group go back in time, and they actually killed T-Rex using their bullets. And like what this guy's still time, right? No, that's fine. Look at it. History only see it as being killed by the tree. So it's
Until they find the bullet.
and so, but the main character messed up because of that. What they did a lot of precaution to make sure that no time pass thing happens. They have a floating invisible bridge thing to for them to walk on, so they won't actually touch the ground.
Oh, like a blinder. Like how they'd use with deers where they have like a thing set up where you can sit and the deers won't see you.
Oh yeah.
But the path is mostly for them to not actually touch the ground
I
itself.
played Cabela's Wild Hunt.
They have
should
these
play that.
suits, so where they will breathe the air and they will give them the path the germs. And when the main character messed up, he actually fell off the thing and stepped on the barfly. And so because of that though,
And then Michael Kelso started seeing.
what?
Then Michael Kelso started seeing his past, and he would change things.
And people could see it happen because he was in prison that time and he like fucking jammed his hand through those receipts and then the guy in prison's like, oh my god, it wasn't there, but now it's there, even though it should have been there all along because he went back in time and changed the past.
Yeah, but then he also went back in time and strangled himself in his mom's womb. This is a movie called The Butterfly Effect.
Oh yeah.
Starring
The guy that Ashton Kutcher.
oh.
He played Michael Kelso. It was fucking hilarious because the director's cut, Okay, so the original ending of the movie, spoilers for those of you who haven't seen it but want to see it.
It's like 10 years old.
It doesn't matter, Marty.
I
Anyways,
don't give two shits about spoilers.
in the original movie, what happens is
Vader's and
He's in a mental institution because it basically led to that through all his like changing the timeline and shit. He goes and he finds like some old footage of like him as a kid because they use it as therapy for him, and he watches it and it takes him into his past self. And he walks up to the girl because he kept changing everything because of the girl that he liked. And she comes up to say hi to him and he goes, "If you ever talk to me, I'll kill your whole fucking family." And she freaks out. So then they're never friends. So him and his other friend are friends, and the girl doesn't really know who he is. And he like burns all his old pictures, and he happens to walk by her and they just kind of look at each other at the end of the movie. Well, director's cut, he watched an old film where it was him being born. So he jumped back into his fetus self and strangled himself with his fucking umbilical cord. And it makes sense with even the main story itself. It was just cut because, it's like really dark as shit, and edgy as fuck. And it actually coincides because his mom apparently had a bunch of stillborns prior to having him. And it's implied that all the kids that she was going to have had that power. They all just went back in time and strangled themselves because they kept fucking up the timeline.
So, okay.
Sorry, the whole butterfly thing.
Well, the butterfly effect has very, very bad, storytelling.
It doesn't, remember? What the fuck?
I mean, the logic aspect of it. It's all good with the fucking alternative ending. But it's like, how do the guy fucking sees him doing that, but in reality, if he would actually go back in time and do that, he would have had those scars all his life. Which means that the guy who was like, "Oh my god, all of a sudden you just got these scars," you wouldn't have noticed that because he would have already had it.
Yeah. They don't do time travel very well in that movie.
I thought the explanation for that is that he blocked out parts where he actually time traveled.
Yeah, no, what he's saying is that he was trying to prove it to somebody, so he went back in time and purposely injured himself. Now see, the way the movie portrays it is the scars appear as the guy's watching him. But since he changed time, technically he would have had those scars. The guy would have looked at him and went, "I still don't know what you're talking about, you've always had those scars."
Okay, yeah. So
that part. I thought you meant that the one who... I thought actually Chris's character would be surprised or something.
No, he was trying to prove it to somebody, and then he went back and injured himself. But then that would have changed the timeline, the guy would have fucking...
Well, so his main power is he's able to go back in time?
Yeah, but he has to use photos or his journal. He used to keep a journal because he'd black out as a child and weird shit would happen. So when they took him to the doctors suggested he write it in a journal. So that way, just in case he remembers something when he blacks out. So when he was looking through his old journals, he figured out that he time travels by jumping into his past self. And when he does something, it changes history.
It changed so much to the point that he wanted to kill himself.
Yeah, well, it changed because he fucked it all up because the girl that he liked, her father was abusive to her, and he went back and tried to change one thing, but it kept fucking somebody else's life up that he knew.
Couldn't we just
her story? That's what it was. That's what that reminds me of.
Couldn't we just travel back to the
entire game was based on
his I want to say he was passed off the beginning of the movie, telling I should not do this at all.
I
don't know.
It's a lesbian.
I don't know if they
There
were
you go,
good.
travel back in time, shoot her dad.
Maybe, but then she'd be mad at him.
That was the other thing. He
Shoot
doesn't.
himself.
No, I want to bring back Kurt Vonnegut. Fucking, he sees the day of his death, does nothing about it.
Because he's already given up to the idea that he has
He's the brother from Harry Potter who accepted his death.
Bullshit. He went on this big ass rant about free will, and then just immediately accepts it. I'm like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, because the hands. You just got done telling us earlier that the hands told him that there's no such thing.
Bullshit. He just didn't want to admit he was useless in the war. He could have just said, I was the worst fucking human being in all existence and went on with his life. No, he had to have an excuse. Aliens. Go fuck yourself, Kurt Vonnegut.
Reminds me of that one manga series I was reading before.
The only thing that I found satisfying about that book is that what's his name got his fucking revenge.
Something happens in the future to where
He's the one who shot him.
A post-apocalyptic nightmare, which also
Fucking dies before he
spawns
sees that
humans to
himself.
naturally get at a very accelerated rate psychic powers. So anyway, and so
Keep talking. Don't stop.
This is a podcast. Keep going.
So I love that. He started his own podcast.
Anyway, so apparently,
Kitchen cats.
and the character who wasn't the main character actually, who said that the humans are for in time 10 years, actually gave a good analogy about time travel, to where like and then you see timeline itself as a bridge, and there's fog all around you. Meaning like and the more you cross, the more that time's really uncertain.
I don't know if he has a space baby.
We're talking about that right now.
No, I'm so pissed about this book. He has sex with that like.
I'm just reading about your bullshit book. I want to hear about this now.
So anyway, so like the analogy
It's
is
a
that.
coma. It pisses me off.
That is that the Bruce, since she sent them 10 years into the future, she lifted the veil of the bridge, causing them to see like more of the bridge in front of them, so they would know what will happen. It was a good analogy about the timeline itself. And so like what she another analogy is that they try to go into the future. They choose to and know what will happen in the future. They try to change a little bit of the past in order to change that future. It got to the point to where like the friends that are normally dead are now back alive, and like all the family that are normally dead are back alive again. And this crowd of people in the city who are not supposed to be dead are also back alive, and this underground society that's supposed to go against the Sakis that actually ruined the world. And it got more sad to the point, and dark to the point where like to the point where like the people in the future were like, we know we're not gonna see you again because this is a different timeline. But
You forgot one thing, where Stephen Hawking thinks that he's so great that he thought that fucking people, if they learned how to space time travel, they would want to see his ugly ass. No one wants to see his fucking Stephen Hawking's ass. That's why no one showed up. Maybe they are space time travelers. They don't want to see Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking doesn't know shit.
But Roy, you seem to have forgotten where Stephen Hawking from the future travels back in time with Stephen Hawking in the past because Stephen Hawking, I mean your butthole.
But then Stephen King comes up with a shotgun.
He pulls both of them away. This would make a good novel.
And thus Dark Tower was made.
cool, I'm back in the 1970s. Groovy, I'm back in the 1940s.
I can walk again.
Cool. Now you stop from running that marathon, so you will have to destroy the triple multi heat vision. Yeah, I'm never gonna suggest that again, man.
You know who handled time travel well?
Doctor Who?
No.
No, definitely not. That's your girlfriend, by the
Yes,
way.
it is. Premature.
Oh god damn, that is a good movie. I need to show them that.
Premature.
Premature is a movie about time travel, but it's okay. Think about like Groundhog Day, except in order to go back in time, the dude has to masturbate.
I've never seen that Groundhog Day.
You never seen Groundhog? Oh my god, you gotta see Groundhog Day. It's pretty funny.
Good movie.
What's his name?
Did that do time travel well?
Yeah, because it's a time loop. He's stuck in a time loop where
He has to learn the lesson.
he has to learn a lesson. So he goes to bed and he wakes up the day day but earlier.
No way.
God damn it!
We're recording, by the way.
Oh god, no! Boy,
What?
your girlfriend brought her sister.
Want me to stop it?
Fuck? Yeah.
I'm
Go ahead.
She wanted
We're
to
done.
watch the movie too, so I.
Hey, you made it to the end of the video. You know what else you made it to? That button. Click that like button. Do it. I know you want to. Come on. I'm waiting.